Okay, so now let's start it. You went to IU. Yep. Right now, you have a lot of people that says forget about school. They're not private school areas. Do you think they read this? Tell me why. If you're gonna have your business, if you don't understand accounting, you're really behind the eight ball. Can you hire them knows that? You still have to connect to you, right? I mean, there's people that don't understand the concept of the difference between profits and costs. Or the accountant might tell you you're profitable, but your cost is going down. Not understanding the breakdown, and you don't. You think in the college learn that? You think you do, right? Because many of some people look if you're so mission related that you can tag and online course and accounting to yourself, everything. Even if I have a became an West Brom, people are and now guessing how to go to Indiana. I'm not saying expensive school. I don't care if you go to communication college and like accounting, spend the boss class, just spending the money. Forces to do allocated to do it. But accounting, finance, assess and marketing, sales school for all of that, there are some all the language of business. And so it's possible to teach yourself these things and while it's not possible to hire them, you're starting your own company, you don't want to have to spend money hiring an accountant. And so your cost of running a business drops even more important and all that is blocking and tackling less language of business. The thing I learned in dinner more than anything else. I learned how to work and become more important to me because uncertainty in business is always going to be changing. You are always learning this minute. If I'm just actually learning, if I'm just absorbing as much as I can absorb, someone else is going to give me answer. Right? So talk about paranoia. The rather source of your paranoia should be knowledge. If someone else more than you do, if you're not learning, if you don't know how to learn, if you don't have a thirst for learning and acquiring information, you SOL. People like to say, all these stupid questions are no, that's not right. Because the questions you ask them, it may tell you more about you than anything else you do. Because in particular things about your preparation, you ask me questions about just basic things you have known and you should have dealt with science. That's going to require for you almost more than anything. There needs to be a healthy level of paranoia. Absolutely, there needs to be. Oh yeah. I mean, I always say, for everyone person, I said, what do to keep honest, right? Yeah, but you have there's somebody trying to put you in a position to take a bite of your process that is better for you to figure out how they do it, right? Better than they do it. So yes, they're being paranoid. You have to be paranoid. You have to anticipate other people's next moves. And you can't adapt like the competition. I was presented line of question this morning at the college and they were kind of being dismissive of the competition. I should kind of do that. That lamps trying to take it out and then like just an still. If you're good, really good, you go willing to buy them to even harder, faster, better. So you have to be, very specific of what you're good at and what other people are good at. And a healthy dose of paranoia must be it. It's very helpful. If you're always learning to this minute, if I'm not consciously learning and I'm just absorbing as much as I can absorb, someone else is going to give me ask. The greatest source of your personal should be knowledge. If someone else more than you do, if it's for learning, if you don't, or if you don't know how to learn, you don't have a trust of learning and acquire information, you SOL. So guys, I have something gym, right? So guys, that go for and have positive business discipline. Nowitzki may not be the most talented guy in the NBA, but his discipline and focus to do what necessary to be. Example, willing to do it and combine it. Being 74 and being skilled, it makes him an amazing basketball player. So understanding what your skill set is, shining in the right place to use those skills and then going for it. It will make you dollars. It depends on which you pick the right industry. The way that you pick, if you outwork everybody, if you try to be a little smarter than everybody, if you get a better sales person than everybody, and try to be better prepared than everybody, you have a better chance because you don't do it and somebody else does. I have a saying, walk like someone trying to take it all away from you. We don't work actually work like someone else spending 4 hours working, 24 hours taking away from you. That's kind of way I look at it. We say it's number one reason why people fail. Not necessarily what they make, it complete opposite. Like brands lack effort. Yeah, they just don't do work, they don't learn. When you work in a room and you start business, you start to talk about your somebody you are never working with no competition. There's nothing to the competition, that means somebody else no more business. However you do when you start. And if you're not working into a competitive environment and still know more about your business than you do and more about your customer, you will lose. But most people don't consider that. They don't do work. They don't learn about they don't learn about industry. They know even more about the business. I mean, so you got to build into the effort to know more about your industry than anybody else. That's that brand's part, and that's a very for part as well. Because look, if you continue with me, you better know what are you doing. Otherwise, I'm gonna kick your ass. When learning for me, and so the combination usually what keeps us early on more than anything. But I mean, it was almost like if you want something, you have to earn it. And to his credit, he never said, no, you can do that. Even the selling graphic bars, clickable times, whatever it was, he would have hand me back. Thinking it wasn't anything. Something's being trying to think you're so nice if you don't know any better or you learn and if it doesn't matter. Whenever 9, 10, 12, 16, 21, if it's irrelevant. And whenever you are, 9, 10, 16, 21, 22, 24, I'm sitting on the couch. I have a car with a horn of Bob or, I'm living from a student. Is what do you have to lose? What thing if influenced me much understanding, my dad was like, go for it. Don't, why not? When I have to go to lose. So sort of thing like this, like if you think as in you interview them, it's okay, so within 30 minutes interview say this dude's not gonna make it as an entrepreneur. Yeah, I mean I can typically tell, right? I can tell by the passion, I can tell by the focus, I can tell by desperation. That there's certain whole letter from things that wasn't here. Here's the person you're in, and here's how things that influence whether or not you're gonna be successful. Through my experience in businesses, I can put myself in the position inside. Okay, here 900 or 1,000 of things you have to aware of and then go through and ask. I mean, how many of those are these should have been able to address already? They can give me a sense of how they will work, And I can tell by the questions they ask me, so all I have to do is say, okay, what do you have to know? Do what you know. Because if you and I were but in high school, we were 12 years old, 3 years old, and we know each other, we bet on you when you being who you are today, really, no chance. I mean, why? I mean, I had my good friends, and we hung out, and I was a lot. Yeah, then no question, I was a lot. If in high school, oh yeah, and it was in a big way. But I think it was solid to me. It was like one look at me, or it doesn't succeed. But also not call your fun guy where you're always the guy that make people laugh. No, I was also competitive. I was do sports, but I was not was accredited. I was just decent. Was an technology guy. I mean, I was still learning. I was a business guy. Was always reading, was business book all the time, reading business book all the time. Going to junior achievement. I was junior achievement quick. And when we reading business books, because when that's an I mean, we will run that way. My first business I will tell where I was bought bullied by selling baseball cards, sponsoring stamps, and I think I could lose my money. I was hustling, trying to do so worse. I was the business with not so much where all my friends want to visit me, so no. Do you think that as a proven formula that your brand will kick in has got a lot and business gonna be disrupted on its own how to? Think if model formula has the legitimate entrepreneur? No. So they believe they're ready to make it. Yeah, because who knows you're gonna be competing with. Put two both within the same formula, both the same industry, right? Because maybe both can win, but it's successful, but certain thing that's default template for yourself, but I think that's things you can do to yourself in a better position to succeed. Okay, so then that is the end of my speaking today. And if you're really excited about this, like I have more energy after I do this one, like it kind of gives me a sense of how hard I have to work and how hard I have to work every day, every week, and every month, every year in order to achieve the thing that I want in the future. Like if you want to be a YouTuber, I have to try. I have to try really hard on working, how to make music, how to find image, how to create and edit a video. And if I want to be a information technology guy, it's not like that. Like if I want to be something I want to be successful, I have to try really hard. If I want to learn something that's related to computer science, I have to practice computer a lot, like coding, transfer the data from here to here, and then I have to do a lot of work in order to achieve the thing I want. Besides, if you want passive income in the future, you have to try really hard on today in order to make it come true. Like if you want passive income, like working in YouTube or something more or something like that, so I have to be really focused on what I'm doing right now. So I cannot just absorbing as much as I can absorb. I have to really focus on what I'm doing and think about a goal that I'm gonna achieve that will come true if I be lazy today or if I want to do it. So what should I have to do today in order to achieve the thing that I want? Thing is really matter the most. Yeah, like it shows me speech his his speech show me how to work better. What motivation do you have on your own for you right now in order to achieve the thing that you want? And what energy, what power, what skills, what knowledge do you have to have in order to be who you want in the future? That is a really important things that I've learned from him, from his speech, and okay, so that's pretty much enough for today. Okay, that's good.